If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonic's Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. If you want to receive...
You can offer some prayers, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار الصابرين والصادقين والقانتين والمنفقين والمستغفرين بالإسخار شهد الله أنه لا إله وملائكته وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amen. Shukran, Imam Jalo. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God of power and might, the creator of the universe, the King of kings, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the one who knows the end from the beginning. We continue to submit ourselves under your grace, and we continue to submit the TRRC sittings under you. And we submit all the witnesses that will be coming before this commission. And we grant that by Holy Ghost power you shall grant them the boldness to be able to speak the truth and to be honest with themselves and with their conscience, and to be truthful to the people of this nation and not to mislead the people of this land. And so, Lord, we continue to pray that you grant the commission the discerning spirit to discern between truth and falsehood. And Lord, allow the people of this nation and the diaspora, the patience, to allow the due process to take its course. This we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop Odeko. Council, I believe we are continuing with our witness from yesterday. If that is the case, please proceed if you're ready with the witness.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, commissioners and members of the audience. Indeed, we're proceeding with the witness from yesterday, Mr. Tombong Tamba. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. or Lieutenant General Tamba, retired. Welcome back to the TRRC.
Sam Lieutenant General Tamba, Bismillah TRRC.
You would continue your testimony. May I remind you that you are under oath? And it is a criminal offense to lie before the TRRC. And it is also a criminal offense to provide false information to the commission, to lie on the oath.
Ngani kabi luwa tinyale mpuruka kumasato balofo commission koto jantumala menne be kalokoto.
So thank you for agreeing to come back.
Inimbaraba ke ila songola puruka muruna nkotenke.
It can be a tedious process, but hopefully we would finish today. If it need be, we would continue until we finish. So we would start. Yesterday we were talking about the work of the panel at the NIA. During the Trrc case. Do you recall that?
Good morning, Council. Isama Council.
Good morning, Chairman.
Isama Chairman.
Commissioners.
Commissioners.
Members of the press.
Kibar Bunda Kulalu.
Audience. I'm pleased to be here again today to continue my testimony. Council, can you ask your question again?
Yesterday we were talking about the work of the panel investigating the Trrc coup d'etat in 2006.
Correct, Council.
You would agree with me that that was not the only investigative panel you sat in.
Council, can I be reminded of the second panel?
You participated in the panel investigating the journalist. Correct?
That is not correct.
No,
I never served in that panel.
Do you know a person called Madi Sise?
I've never met Madi Sise. I only come to know of Madi Sise on the social media.
Social media.
Well, Madi Sise has testified before the commission.
Council, can I be reminded in respect of what?
Yes, you would be.
Madi
Sise was arrested in connection with the arrests of the journalist that took place in April. I would get to the year because it's not in this transcript. But he was arrested and taken to the NIA in connection with the work of the journalists. He wrote an article in 2006 alleging that the head of the NIA was arrested with the coupist. In fact, one of the things that was said, according to him, was that Harry Sambu blamed the media for losing his job, and he said, "It is because of your bad reports that I was sacked." I think he was one-time director. He was arrested in connection with this issue. And he was taken to the NIA and he was put before a panel. And according to him, CDS Tombong Tamba was present and was a member of the panel. Do you recall that now?
Tangin dalilo la kanko journalist le kibaro dole safe ko journalist la ko wala asabu a fotala do ko la andu kisi la do briya muta ite sedo nyi membe sirin tan general Tombong Tamba ite fon tartanu sirin jelo kisi ro nyi wiyo nyin fo hakilo sa muda o siyo nyin don nyin isa hakilo sa muta no le bang.
And so that is not correct. And so the panel that I served, which was about the 2006 coup, I did not even stay too long in that panel. I left that panel very early. The reason being, from given the opportunity, I will explain why I was removed from the panel that was investigating the coup plotters. I
was going to come into that, the reasons why you were removed from the panel. And perhaps it won't be too long for us to get there. So in the meantime, we can serve that. For now, the commission notes that you were removed from the panel, as you call it, quite early on. But is it your testimony that you have never sat in a panel in which Madi Cisse was brought?
And so I never sat in that panel. This is news to me. In fact, Madi is somebody I don't even know. I cannot identify him among the crowd. I just read his articles in the social media, that's all.
Perhaps that is the problem. You don't recognize him, you don't know him.
And I never served in that panel. If I explain the time I left the panel, he will see what I mean.
This whole investigation occurred within the same time frame as the other investigations dealing with the coupists. You see, Mr. Tamba, the person who suffered it would rarely forget what he went through.
Mr. Tamba said,
you agree with that?
That is possible.
And Madi, I beg your pardon, Mr. Chairman. And Madi Cisse said, they were taken to the NIA, and they were tortured, and they were brought before the panel, and you were a member of the panel, and you ordered him not to talk about their tortures. That's his testimony before this commission. You deny that?
Yes, he might have said that. But whether that was the truth.
Mr. Tamba, General Tamba, you said you don't know Madi Cisse.
General Tamba, I
have never met Madi Cisse in my life.
There is no particular reason that is known to us why Madi would select you as the person to lie against. You have no relationship with him. How can you explain that?
That is your conclusion. And so,
amount of meter from the Miradality Council.
All right. There is also Musa Sedikan.
Musa Sedikan fele jam fana.
He also went through the same thing.
And wada fana ku kili woni wala lata kam.
He was arrested in connection with the same article.
Ya muta ala muto dalilo sababu ta menna wala mun kibar bunda kilimote.
He was taken to the NIA and tortured.
Ya samba NIA ya tajire yaje.
And he said as follows in his testimony.
And men fo ala kiala sedandiro kono mina wala fala ten.
He was asked by counsel.
Ya nyininka counsel ya nyininka.
So what subsequently followed after all your tortures?
And
And Mr. Chairman, permit me to read extensively from his statement. He responded as follows. After all that, I understood they wanted to release us, but they were somehow scared to release us, knowing that I had these wounds. My hand was hanging, and also there was bayonet mark on my cheek and my jaw. So some of them told me that they wanted to release you, but there are two things. The pressure kept piling on the government, and Jame is confused right now. And then also they told me that because you have these wounds, so they are scared that if you are released, people will see it. But they did not have a choice until finally, on 20 April, when they took us to a conference hall. There, the Interior Minister, he was, and the IG at the time, Usman Sonko. Then came also Tombong Tamba. I remember also the security chief, and they also asked us to tell them what would be our final words. And then they advised us to be law-abiding, that there was an emergency security in the country. They had to round up people of all categories, that they did not have any personal agenda to trample on the media. So you see, this witness also confirmed that you were present.
The witness confirmed that I was present in what?
In this panel.
And so that is different from what you are saying. What you read is different from what you are saying. The witness is saying the day he was to be released. So that does not necessarily follow that I was part of the panelists. What I want to say is that too is not correct. That is why I said when I speak, why I was removed earlier from the panel, it will help the commissioners and the audience and yourself.
You see, the thing is, you're talking about the why you were removed. This is about the when you were removed. It is a question of whether you were present at that time when these two individuals were brought before the panel. In the conference hall. And you have two witnesses saying you were there. April 2006.
April 2006.
April 2006.
April 2006.
I will tell you that if you go by the records, I was not in the country even.
Mr. Tamba, I cannot disprove your suggestion.
Council, sorry.
Let me finish.
Sorry, my mind was going to the students' demonstration. Sorry, not that one.
All right.
But let me speak up too,
yes,
so that you'll get me. You don't have to spend too much time on this issue.
Go ahead.
You can connect the time the former Speaker Sirif Mustafa Diba was arrested.
isi watu jube watu men nekata speaker tijang Sheriff Mustafa Diba ya muta watu
it's almost around the same time. Remember, the alleged school was in March and this was in April.
Okay. They kita watu kilimo la moza fono. Kumaliza kita April.
And you know very well that the work of the investigative panel went on for weeks. True or false?
Kisikizirila la idogo ni madara
probably for months.
sikelo fanga karo lufang.
So isn't it just possible, considering that the two events are interlinked, isn't it just possible that you cast your mind only to the investigative panel dealing with the coupist and you forgot that others were also brought to the panel, not because they participated in any coup d'etat, but they made statements that were not favorable to the NIA bosses?
Asikeni different ko hakilo ye kudeta la panelo kunyala muta asike ole ya sabu hakilo bota nyim panel be la siola me ya lonko wari kulu katata nyola le nakita nyobala asikelo dalilo le ya sabu hakilo bota nyim donnula me ya lonko wolle kata journalist wala nyim panel kunyalti fo asikelo lo fanansi kelo le bang akite asikebul hakil bodi.
And so we are not here to talk about possibilities.
Mandara jampoka diamu kulu sekeno.
If we were talking about possibilities, you wouldn't have call me here.
Ning ayatara kafo duwan kulu melu sekeno mente keno la. Tumbi alten kumani lejam.
You would conclude your findings on possibilities.
Tumbi alla kisikisiro alibaba nanyine kamko kulu melu sekeno.
But we are here to talk about realities.
Chai mbijang melu keta mbele kachaka.
Well, Mr.
Those realities are.
Let me just say something there. The reality that you now faced with is you have two witnesses.
Who
clearly say that they were tortured at the NIA and brought before this panel, and you were present, you were a member of that panel. That is the reality we are dealing with.
That is the information we are dealing with, but that is not the reality. You cannot confirm that as a reality. It's the information that you got.
So yole kibaro sotode bari amanke kuti me yalonko wole mtonyato nya kuti
that is why I said you give me the opportunity to explain the period I left the panel. That will give you an idea as to whether I was there at the time we were abroad, and the panelists who were there later, you have the opportunity to call them and ask them if I was there at that time.
Wala nanko niyo wato dingo na sata wato no yenta bondi panelo kono wobete fangu mako elele bari men fangal be panelo kono ni tembe ngem foten wala be keren le do baluni so lo fangu kilino le nyinin ka be ibe akoindi le mane wato men te bota panelo kono.
I accepted being in the panel from the beginning.
Nsonta kontakta panelo kono na kabo akwo damu tadulato.
So why should I refuse for these two people to be in the panel?
Well, Mr. Tamba, these two people have implicated you in concealment and cover-up of torture. If that is what you believe in, let's move on. It's because
I said, let me be given the opportunity to explain the period I left the panel. That will help you to reach your conclusion.
Please, by all means.
Following the arrest of the former speaker, Sheriff Mustafa Diba, which happened in the second week of the sitting of the panel, Sheriff Diba, the former speaker, was implicated as being part of the coupists.
Sheriff Diba ya to kuyanyina lako atafanambo kudeta feremol lekono.
He was invited to the panel,
ya fanam kumandi panel nyatilimula,
and he was given the opportunity to explain as to his involvement.
And yesilo dia la pura afananya asata ataftanyi kunu nyadile.
At the end of his testimony,
ala sede aro ala dia mo bandulato.
we realized that he has nothing to do with the coup.
Nata korosi ko nin kudeta ko adati ya mankoko lin sotoje.
And he was elderly as well.
Andu kola kebala molamu.
It was then myself and Haidara.
Utumole muntekulu Haidara.
We left the panel.
Ntel bota paneloto.
I picked a phone and called the president, and at the time, Yahya Jammeh.
Utumu ngap telephone ota membe president yala nu utumu Yahya Jammeh ngakumandi.
And I explained to him that the speaker has nothing to do with this allegation.
Nga ko ndia majela ko ni speaker among ko kundi soto ni tumu yon kuno memfoama.
There is no evidence that suggests that he was part of them.
Sebe kumo soto mensa itande ko atafananda be wol konole.
And we advise him, hence he is elderly.
Andu nani yamaro diala wairu ni muke bala moneti.
It will be good that we release him, let him go back to his house. Whenever we need him, we'll get him back.
Membe betala wala mnabula ay sai ay tala buloto. Nim misali kam nata sula la koteke. Nsa kumandi ayna.
He accepted my advice.
Asontanna yamaro la.
But within 2 minutes of me finishing my conversation with him, he called back and he said to me, why are you defending Sirif Diba? You are saying that he is not part of the groups. And he is part of them. In fact, now you leave the panel now. And you go back to your office. I don't want you there anymore. And it was said in the presence of Haidara. It became a shock to me. How he was able to get that information that we were trying to defend speaker. It was made a Haidara notice that somebody was standing beside us whom we did not take notice of. It was General Tamba Mantarato Nyafokan. That was the very day I was removed from the panel for good. The person is late now. The person who was informing the president about that is late. He was the late Musa Jammeh. And Haidara, the one I'm referring to, is here in the country. You know, he was the head of the investigating team. And the commission can contact him for more light. So I left the panel very early to the extent that when these journalists were talking about were arrested, I was never part of the panel. In fact, that led me to ask you the period they were arrested.
Mr. Tamba.
Mr. Tamba.
Thank you for doing the honorable for Sirif Mustafa Diba. But a similar treatment ought to have been given to everybody else, be treated according to the rule of law. And that is why we are here. But do you realize that Sirif Mustafa Diba did not appear before the panel on the date of his arrest?
Sirif Mustafa Diba honorable among finti panelo nyati
That is not correct. He appeared before the panel the very day he was arrested. Because it was during the day. Why do you have to keep him till the following day? There was no need for that.
These individuals claimed that what happened to them was in April of 2006. Do you dispute that you were in the panel in April 2006?
April 2006, I was already removed from the panel by the president.
April 2006 wayatara yente bondi panelo kono le president fangale bondi je.
Okay, I am here looking at information on the arrest of Sirif Mustafa Diba.
Sa ndam vele jang be kibaro do jude kan Sirif honorable Sirif Mustafa Diba la mutaro ni al kibaro ni bolo jude kan.
And this is on his Wikipedia page.
Ni mo kibar bunda de kaf min Wikipedia page.
It says in April 2006 Diba was arrested for 9 days and dismissed as speaker.
Ya muta ya sindikla killing for tilikononto andu narna bay ka bondi DP speaker yala.
He was allegedly linked to the coup attempt against Jammeh in the previous month.
Ya tumi ko adabe tu kudeta lal konole bang karo o karitambilal to.
In April, still a member of the panel.
April karo kono haninka bi idabe karaling o panel mol konole.
And so probably the author is talking about his detention.
Sekelo safer lañu ala muto adone fo.
Let me read it again.
But all I can tell you,
Let me read it again.
But ma karam ko tekke.
Just a moment. I will recall from memory. He says in April, Diba was arrested.
Ko April karo kono Diba muta.
Exactly as I said it. In April, Diba was arrested for 9 days.
Ya muta tilikononto.
He was arrested in April.
Ya muta April karo le kono.
That is what it says.
Kibaro e wala fo.
So in April, you were, according to your own testimony, still a member of the panel.
Ite fo la seden do kono ay tandi nyame wala hanika bi e mum wolde mi an ko idabe ni panelo kono la nyin kisir la kafo kono.
council, the facts are this.
Council Tonyani Mentije,
The very day Sirif Diba was arrested, that was the very day he appeared before the panel. And after our suggestion to the president, that very day he appeared before the panel. And my suggestion to him was for him to be released, simply because we didn't get any evidence connecting him to the coup. Allow me to come.
You have said all that.
No, but I'm coming. I'm coming.
We don't have to be repeating and repeating.
This is to help you. This is to help you. I want to say that very day he was arrested, that was the very day he was released, and that was the very day I was removed from the panel.
But I am telling you that according to independent media reports, that event took place in April.
Kangina foe ko kibar bunda dole me alon ko welor nga fayen na monta mo fasa ko nyinketa April.
Which part of April?
April batijuma.
I have to be fair to you, Mr. Tamba, like I would be fair to everybody. The article did not state a precise date.
Is that an authentic information without a precise date? Because all articles published on newspapers, they have dates. This one has no dates.
Mr. Tamba, the date of the article is 2nd June. All right, but the article is referring to a particular event and it did not give a precise date. It just states that Diba was arrested in April, and that is cogent and authentic evidence.
Council, the date is on the 2nd April.
That is the date of the article.
So meaning that the event might happen before the 2nd April that we are talking about.
Mr. Chair, I'll just leave this matter. The Commission has enough to determine where the truth lies. Other witnesses would come before the Commission and they would be asked and they would respond. And the Commission would make up its mind on where the truth lies. There is no point belaboring the issue, going around and around. So I want to leave it at that.
Certainly. And the second is the date of the article. Yes. But when did the event itself happen? It cannot be that same day.
It says it occurred in April.
And the article was published in April on the 2nd.
No, the article was published in June 2nd.
No, but you said yes, April 2nd.
I said June 2nd. June 2nd is the date
The present of all of them, you said April 2nd.
Okay, I may have slipped. It may have been a slip. But the article dated June 2nd. But it refers to an event that occurred in April. It says in April 2006, Diba was arrested.
Okay.
But you said you were not in the panel in April. So it's either you were not there when Diba was arrested.
I have made my statement very clear. I left the panel the very day Diba was arrested. The reason being, I suggested to the president that let him be released because we have not found any evidence to connect him to the coup. And that did not go that well. That didn't go down well with the president, and that was the very day I was removed from the panel. Hydra will be
Okay. Let me help you again.
Okay.
Allafrica.com, which gathers all newspapers, it suggests here that Sirif Mustafa Diba have been arrested yesterday, April 6.
Okay.
Honorable Sirif Mustafa Diba wala yamuta.
So you accept that you are still in the panel in April, at least up to April 2006.
Isonda nyindala han kabi ko April 2006 han wo be wa be panel on kono.
And so let it be clear here. Council Matagasilen, that I am not a computer, just like this laptop is storing information. But all I can say here is, following Sirif Diba's arrest and his appearance before the panel, when he gave his testimony, we realized that he was not connected with the coup plotters. That very day I spoke to the president and suggested to him that let him be released. And this was in the presence of Hydra.
Mr.
And like I said, that didn't go well with the president. And that very day I was removed from the panel. And I returned to my office. So I may lose memory of the very dates, as I am human. But the matter of the facts were, that very day I was removed from the panel, and Hydra can confirm, whenever you meet him, he can confirm that yes, I was removed because the president was not happy with me, with my suggestion for Sirif to be released. Those are facts.
Mr. Tamba, I am not for a moment disputing that you made that recommendation to the president. You understand that?
Yes, Council.
I am also not disputing that you may have been removed from the panel on that day. I am also not disputing that by telling the president that this man, the Honorable Speaker of our National Assembly at the time,
Honorable Speaker,
was not part of the coup, that was the honorable thing to do. We can put it on the record 300 times. It's not an issue for us. We are not disputing that. But that gives us a particular time frame. The event occurred on a particular date. You said it was not in April. Well, the newspaper articles that were contemporaneous with the event, they say quite clearly that this occurred on the 6th of April.
And so that was why in my second submission, I did mention that I am human. and I can lose sight of the dates. But the fact remains the same. That the speaker I was removed from the panel following my intervention for the speaker to be released that same day he was arrested. Those are facts.
Those are facts which we are not seeking to disprove. What is also a fact, since there is a fascination for facts, is the fact that this event occurred on 6th April. You may have forgotten the date. Perhaps that's the reason why you said you were not at the panel in April. But this document clearly put you in the panel in April.
That should not be an issue. I say I am human. I can lose sight of the dates. The date should not be an issue. Now I leave it to the commission. They'll be able to confirm when former speaker was released and when these particular people we're talking about were arrested. That will help you. Why should I accept being in the panel during when the military personnel were arrested? I admitted being in the panel. So why should I dispute being in the panel when these people were arrested if that was the case? A lot of people were arrested before I was removed from the panel. And I never disputed that. But why for these two journalists I will dispute that I was not in the panel? It is because those are the facts.
You see, Mr. Tamba, you are the one who is affected.
Mr. Tamba,
by accepting this evidence, the consequences would lie on you. So you would be the only person having an interest in disputing these facts.
But it is disappointing if that is the way you see it. I am here to speak the truth. So you take my truth or you don't take it. But to make such suggestions, it is disappointing. That means to say you don't have trust in me, you don't have confidence in me. Based on your conclusions.
I think I should again put it on the record very clearly that I draw no conclusions. What I have said is a clear statement of law. An allegation has been made against you. I think it behoves us to bring out those allegations to you, to give you the opportunity to respond to them. And I don't think you would disagree with that. Would you?
Also, certainly I know this is not a court of law. I have reacted to that already. What I know about it. Your recent reaction prompted me also to react that way. So you take my evidence and I said you have the opportunity to verify when I was removed from the panel. That was the day the was to be released following my suggestion. Then you can make your conclusions.
General, it may not be well appreciated by you, but all I said was that you are the person who has an interest in this matter to want to clear yourself. And that is just a fair comment.
General nga memfola mindi ko asikero nyinkuo beni ajube asulo mendi itele mkuo timoti me alongo itele sulo sota ko ka itele kita moti me alongo to birola te kam.
You ask questions why you would do a certain thing.
Binyininkaro kela yenyininkaro ko mune asabu itebe ku dantangol kela.
And my answer to you is that because you are the person who is affected. That does not suggest that I have made a conclusion. I have not made a conclusion about anything. In fact, all I have just said, to put it in legal terms, is that you have an evidentiary burden.
Ngam furron ko men luala karola ron ko kuma ko men finde wala ni dita farana karola ye duno be kan pour yo tumiro ni ya fintindi ya boy kan
to show that what is being alleged against you did not happen.
Ko tumiro la men late kan kule me yalon ko man soto.
That is all I said. It may be a misunderstanding on your part as to the meaning of what I said. But I'll just leave that aside and not be burdened by trivial issues. Let's now move on to the issue of the panel investigations of the core group of the coupists. It was established, to your agreement, that the junglers were there as part of the group that was carrying out all the activities that were necessary for the collection of the evidence. You agree?
Yes, on the ko la kuma kan kono ko ni jongula so kiskisir la do katara jele panelo ni kono je pour katara ko be tamande kan ko mi alon ko abede maroke la kiskisiro ni kono isonta.
What I said here was, the junglers were brought in there, that is by a separate authority. So our notice for them to be bringing and taking back the arrestees. That was what I said.
Thanks for putting it in that way. And that separate authority that was responsible for the junglers was the president.
That's what I think I've said that here yesterday.
So you accept that?
If I had said it yesterday, certainly I accept it.
Thank you very much.
The junglers themselves were here and they confirmed to this commission that they are answerable to the president and nobody else. So it is not something new.
That is a notorious fact. We all agree to that. And there will never be a suggestion from any one of us here that you had any direct control or authority over the junglers. We never say that.
Mine is just an emphasis.
Thank you very much. The emphasis and the point is well noted. Apart from the junglers, there were the panelists. How did you come to become a member of the panel?
On the first day of the arrest, I was the one who led the team that foiled the coup. Certainly at a time the president was out of the country. So the very day we foiled the coup, I've said it here, it was Bunja that we first arrested. Because he was the one, we knew about his involvement. Certainly at that moment a panel was set up to have the rest of the groupies arrested.
A panel would not just mushroom from nowhere or just from nothing. Somebody must have ordered or decided that a panel be established.
Panelo telo wala dala la onyama. Jumale kamodi puo panelo ni we sabati wa londi.
Following the arrest of some of these groups that very day, March. That was the same day that the president arrived back from Mauritania at night. So the setting up of the panel was sanctioned by the president, certainly.
Thank you very much. And the members, the senior members of the panel, to whom were they reporting? Like you, for instance, to whom were you reporting about the work of the panel?
Certainly to the commander-in-chief, the president.
And Haidara, to whom was he reporting?
After when we finish our daily sittings, certainly we will call the president and brief him. And in most instances we will advise him also those that we feel should be released immediately.
Was there a time when the president decided the inclusion of other people in the panel?
Yes, Council, there was a time he suggested that we should include certain people. Maybe he was not satisfied with the way the panel was working. And who were those people? He suggested that Baba Saho and Fode Bari should immediately be included in the panel. In fact, he instructed that I should go and pick them and bring them to the panel immediately that night.
At this time, were these two gentlemen, Baba Saho and Fode Bari, in the service of the Gambia government?
To my
own understanding, they were already removed from service.
In essence, these people were brought in out of necessity in view of what they can contribute to the work of the panel, isn't it?
So remember, these two people were working at that office before. So if the president deems it necessary to get them back, that was how he instructed for them to come back.
I take it that your answer is yes. They were brought back because of the contribution they can bring to the work of the panel.
If I should say yes, that would be my opinion. But their president was sanctioned by the president. So he gives you the right answer that you may wish. Mere imagination.
I would leave it at that. We don't want mere imaginations.
Okay.
We want facts. But this is such an obvious fact, the commission would be able to draw its conclusions. They were certainly not brought there to play akara. They were brought there to do a job.
But not for me to confirm.
Well, if you choose not to confirm, it does not necessarily mean that the truth is not derivable or we can't draw the conclusions out of it. But we'll just move on. There was also GRTS. that was used in the work of the panels.
Ke muna fan GRTS la nan panelo ni na do go wato ko.
True or false?
To nya ko fani.
And GRTS were sent there by the president.
Non GRTS president wole kamodi pour yetaraje.
True. So now we have this four-legged table.
Silam vele ngain table nano so jam. Table sin nano so jam.
The junglers
jungulal
sent in by the president.
President wole kiye.
Correct?
Tonya.
Correct, that's all, yes.
The panel members sent there by the president.
Panel members wole ndo gulal membe akoni kisikisam president wole kiye.
Certainly.
And you have GRTS sent there by the president.
Velanga GRTS fanam so jam andu fanam president wole kiye.
GRTS presence was not sanctioned by the president.
But you just said that a minute ago.
Maybe it's a slip of the tongue. The panel suggested to bring the GRTS to have these people recorded for evidence sake. And of course there are testimonies even were recorded by the GRTS.
We would come to that. And please allow for a logical flow and don't forcibly bring in GRTS yet. We will get there and we would have ample time to discuss GRTS and its role. All right? Did the president sanction? Remember, you're giving daily briefings of your activities. Did the president sanction the participation of GRTS?
Oh, president ole kamo di GRTS la nala jewa ya kilo bulandu ko ngade alko ngudu nale siyo ke alkamu president kan alka kibaro diala.
The president never sanctioned for the president of the GRTS. It was the panel that felt that we could get the GRTS, have them take pictures.
Let me rephrase the question. Did the president know that GRTS was participating?
For president we alone le banko GRTS be ma berin jele ba.
Not only we briefed him.
Did he accept it?
Certainly, yes, he accepted. That was why they were able to come.
Would they have been there if the president did not agree with their presence?
Only in our suggestion, no, they wouldn't have been there.
Effectively, you are telling us that the president sanctioned. The president endorsed, the president approved their presence and participation.
I think I'll choose the word approved.
Well, in this context, sanctioned, approved, endorsed, acquiesced, accepted, all would mean the same thing. But let's take your word, the word you prefer, that is approved.
Council, I choose approve simply because we suggested that to him. So he didn't sanction it, we suggested that to him and he approved.
I would not enter into a debate on polemics, the meaning of words. In this, I would not have any polemic rather on the meaning of certain words. I would use the word that you use. The president approved the presence of GRTS.
Those are my words, yes.
Okay. But there were other members of the panel from State House.
But the panel model from State House.
Council, I've mentioned those I saw there. I've talked about myself.
Were you from State House?
I am coming.
Let's focus now on those from the State House.
The other people I saw in the panel have said it here that it was the junglers. And they come from the State House. And what a State House late.
Okay. There were other members of the panel who were not from State House.
State House.
Sorry, excuse me, let me rephrase. There were other members of the panel from State House who were not junglers.
Mbarunga na nyini karo ni munga ni nyadora wala mnyinti ko modo tarta ni panelo nyin kono mendi alon ko ibora State House anu manke jongulalti.
And I be reminded,
Alaji Martin.
Alaji Martin. I've not seen him, Alaji Martin, as being a member of the panel.
What did you see him
on one occasion, I saw him there.
What was he doing there?
Probably he came to see what was going on. It was my duty to ask him why he came there. People were coming and going. Some officers come just to see what was happening. That was happening.
This is an oversimplification of a truly terrible situation.
Council, can you explain what you mean by simplification?
Well, you suggest that Martin just came there, you saw him once, you did not know what he was doing there, and that was it.
So
that is what you refer to as simplification?
Yes, because his role and his reason for being there is much more complex, is much more intricate than you have made it.
That means to say you are privy to certain information that I was not. Because I have said all I know about Martin's presence there. If you could suggest other reasons, then I take it from you that it is your own suggestion.
We would come to that at a later stage. We just want to understand what was going on and who was in charge. You had accepted that both yourself and Hydra were reporting to the president.
Correct.
The junglers were also reporting to the president.
Correct, Council.
And in addition to that, there were interesting people who accepted, like Alaji Martin, that he was there as an observer or representative of the president.
Council, I don't think I have anything to add to that. If Alaji himself told you that, then take it from him. What I knew was I saw him there as an observer. I wouldn't know whether the president sent him there or not.
I am happy that now you have accepted that he was an observer.
I've said it from the beginning that I just saw him there. I don't know what brought him there that day, the first day I saw him.
Well, before you did not know what he was doing there, now you know he was an observer.
I never mentioned he was an observer. Those are your own words. You mentioned that, he was an observer. I saw him there, so he was there on his own.
When you go home,
he didn't tell me that he was sent by the president. That's what I want you to understand.
When you go home, look at the video again. You just said a minute ago that he was there as an observer, and then you want to deny it in a minute.
Coming on his phone, I wouldn't know whether he was sent by the president. That is what I said.
But the two are different. And being an observer is one thing.
Kake korosir lade o kilinati.
Being sent by the president is another thing.
Afoko president fana ya kije fana mado fana mudolti.
And so maybe you want to make it complicated. Simply, if somebody comes on his own, he could either be an observer or whatsoever brought him there.
Exactly.
So it depends on the word that you want to use.
So you now accept he was an observer.
All I know was he was there. I don't want to take that observer. So you can use that one.
So you take that one back.
You can take that. That is your own word.
Okay.
That is your own word.
All right. What do you say to the suggestion that Martin was sent there by the president to watch, to observe what was going on and to be reporting back to him, and not just Martin, but Musa Jame and Tamba as well?
Alaji Martin abenu njele ko president le akije ka korosir la de ka long mune be membe tama kanje dingrani ndoje andu amanke Musa Jame dronde Alaji Martin dronde Musa Jame fana beje anen Tumbul Tamba.
All three of them were there, observing everything that was going on, to be reporting to the president. Do you disprove that? Do you disagree with that?
I can disapprove of something that I suggested, but I never suggested that. That is your own suggestion, Council.
Yes, Mr. Witness, in fact you did.
Mr. Selo,
just 2 minutes ago, rather 5 minutes ago, you told us when you were speaking to Haidara and reporting to the president about Sirif Mustafa Diba, there was somebody standing there. And it is that person who might have spoken to the president leading to your removal. Just a moment, did you say that?
Yes, I said that.
And that person was who?
It was Musa Jame.
And obviously his role there was to observe what was going on and report back to the president.
And so that is your suggestion. That didn't come from me. Did that come from me? So anything that comes from you is your suggestion, not me.
Well, Mr. Tamba, isn't it quite obvious that this guy, you said he came from State House, didn't he? Didn't he come from State House?
He came from the State
And he is somebody who was seeing you when you were talking to Haidara and reporting back to the president.
Yes,
and by your own admission, you suspect he is the person who reported to the president leading to your removal.
But your suggestion was whether he was sent by the president. That I would confirm because I'm not privy to that information. That is why I disagree with you, Council.
Mr. Tamba, let's be serious here. Let's be serious here.
Okay.
Do you want to think for a moment that Tumbul Tamba, Alaji Martin, and Musa Jame would all leave State House and come to this inquiry and investigation and be reporting to the president, and the president does not endorse their presence there? Is that what you want us to do?
And so this commission is here to unravel facts. Nothing speculative. So whatever I say will be speculative. That is why I don't want to say anything on that.
Let's remove it from the realm of speculation and put it squarely in the box of those who know. Alaji Martin himself said they were sent there by the president
ko ye kije le president wala ye kije
to observe.
ko ke crossir lalti
Do you disagree with that?
banta wala la bang
If Alhaji Martin says so, why can't you take that as the fact? So not from me.
ni ngata ala woto mana ne tota
I insisting for me to say that something I don't know of.
bari ka balanka fa purde kuma fa mealan ko malon
Take it from Alhaji Martin.
ora Alhaji Martin kuma kan wota
We will take it from Alhaji Martin.
o council ka wora batala Alhaji Martin
And
kuma
Mr. Chair, the record would note that Alhaji Martin said they were sent there by the president.
ora sila minister Kiaman kala safiro nyumba tandila ko Alhaji Martin ko president wala kije
Now let's look at the junglers.
sila ngata jongula la fana ko jube
Who was there? Let's name them.
melu benuje nge 12 fo bang
I am not familiar with their names. Listen, I was the CDS. It is not like to say a rule that I should know the soldiers that serve in the military. That said before this commission that they are answerable to the president.
Please don't take us back
Mr. Tamba said
the issue of the command responsibility or of the president over the junglers. We have accepted that. We have said that 300 times. It's enough. Let's just move on to other issues. If we keep going back to things, we would never make progress. Let me tell you again, we accept that the junglers were under the command and control and authority of President Jammeh. So now let's move on.
The issue is
who in the junglers was there. Okay, I'll do it this way. Musa Jammeh was there, correct?
I
saw him there.
He was a jungler.
Jongula la Martin.
Musa wasn't a jungler.
Musa manke jongulati.
What I know, Musa was the head of the plainclothes.
Musa mu molati membe
Call him PPO, Principal Protection Officer.
Perfect. Perfect. So he is in the mold of Alhaji Martin. They belong to their own category, separate from the junglers, correct?
And so, if you want to ask me of the setup at the State House at the time,
Mr. Tamba, you can't be huffing and puffing at the same time. Just hear me.
You have to listen to me. But I was with CDS.
But you also have to...
was at the defense headquarters. These people were working at the State House. So if I say I don't know them, they are responsible whatsoever, you should take it from me, unless you don't want to trust me. Otherwise, then you can declare it your own self what their responsibilities were.
Mr. Tamba, you just told us what were the responsibilities of Musa Jammeh, didn't you?
Yes. But does that follow that I should know all of them their responsibility?
No, we are just talking about Musa Jammeh.
I've made my person clear, you don't want to take it, then you can tell us. I've said it that I don't know.
You know the position of Musa Jammeh at State House at the time. You said he was PPO. Protection officer.
Principal
Protection Officer. Thanks for the clarification.
Yes.
And Alhaji Martin performed also a similar role.
That is your testimony.
No, I'm not testifying. You are the one answering questions, Mr.
I've said it here that I don't know his responsibility there.
Okay. All right.
He doesn't work under me directly.
Okay. So these are two people from State House who were not junglers. You accept that?
Certainly, the uniform they came with was not even that of jungler.
Thank you very much. That is all I was driving at. And if you listen to the question, you could see that it's not complicated. I was just looking for the discrete answer. So then let's now go to the junglers. Okay. There was Tamba.
Was there intermittently?
Malik Jata was there.
Who was Malik Jata?
Babukar Jata's younger brother.
He might be there.
Jiki.
He might be there.
You don't know.
I've said it's here, very clear. Council, unless you want to take me back to what I said, I am not familiar with the junglers. They don't work under me directly. These are junior soldiers. Okay, so I've said it here, but I'm not familiar with them.
But how would I know who you are familiar with or who you are not familiar with?
In most cases, officers with responsibilities or the men that work under me directly at the defense headquarters.
But anyway, painful as it may be, you would have to pardon me to go through this process. So let's go ahead.
Certainly.
Michael Correa.
I don't know Michael Correa within the people.
No Michael Correa lo mulukono.
Ismaila Jammeh.
Ismaila, yes, because he once worked under me when I was the commander state guards.
Ismaila wele do ko kan koto le birimbe commander ya la state guards.
Aliou Jeng.
I don't know Aliou Jeng.
Man Aliou Jeng lo.
Sana Manjang,
I know him.
Sana Manjang na lo.
Bora Koli.
Yes, Bora Koli, I know him.
Bora Koli lo ne.
And who else? Nuha Baji.
I know Noah.
Nuhalo.
These are all junglers.
I don't know for Bora Koli.
Bora Koli talo.
No, what is the laughing about? I said I don't know him as a jungler. That's what I said. I don't know him as a jungler. That was your question, not so?
Yes.
Yes. So when I say I don't know him, it means I don't know him as a jungler.
I am surprised because this is a notorious fact.
Even
if you did not know before,
what was notorious about that?
That Bora Koli was a jungler. That's a notorious fact.
Okay, to you. But if I say I don't know him as a jungler, he could be a jungler, but I may not know him as a jungler.
Okay. Mr. Tamba, did you have control over Bora Koli at that time?
Mr. Isedo, for Mr. Bora Koli, for Abela Marotolo.
Not directly, because he was at the State House, so not directly. I have control over the personnel of the armed forces, but not directly because they fall under some other command before me.
Which other command?
The units they belong to.
And who do those units report to? Who do those units report to?
The units they report to what we call, like the battalions we report to the service chief, like the chief of the army staff.
And
the chief of army staff.
So therefore you are suggesting that the chief of the army staff had control over those personnel?
Chief of army staff,
because be careful. Which people? Be careful of what? Which people?
The units you just mentioned. Those units at State House.
If you say so.
No, not because I have
told the panel here that the junglers, they are answering to the president directly. So now if you want to suggest that they report to those service chiefs, that is your suggestion, not me.
No, I never said anything.
But I said the junglers report to the president. I am very clear about that. If you suggest that they report to their service chiefs, that is your suggestion, not me.
Sometimes I get confused. You brought in the issue of the service chiefs.
Yes.
And you said the respective units at State House would report to their unit commanders. Didn't you say that?
No, we talked about the battalions. Don't carry the
now it's from
battalion. I said they report to their service chief. You said it's recorded. Replay it and get my words clear. We talked about the battalions. I said they report to their service chiefs. The junglers said it very clear here before this commission that they report to the president. So that should not be an issue anymore.
All I wanted to know was whether Bora Koli was your element or not. Because it's either he is under you, was under you, or he was under Jammeh. And each one of those has significant legal consequences. Was he under you, or was he under Jammeh?
Going by the organogram, the junglers, they fall under the State Guards Battalion.
The State Guards Battalion.
If you go by our nominal role.
Itatam to lasilo la.
But they report to the president.
So my question, Mr. Tamba, is where did Borakoli fall? If he wasn't under the president with the state guards, in my little understanding, he is most likely under you.
Borakoli falls under the state guards battalion.
Borakoli the state guards battalion.
So he fell under Jame's basket.
The state guards battalion, they have a commanding officer.
State guards battalion were functioning at all consultant.
And hence they were serving the president.
The president
Certainly all personnel on the state house fall under the president, commander-in-chief.
So it's now clear. Mr. Chair, it's 11:30. It's convenient to take the first break. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take a 30-minute break. I hope when we come back we will not be dwelling again on words and the meaning and all the things are there. We're trying to figure out, you spend quite a bit of time on the meaning of observers, meaning of battalion, meaning of service units. We can't be spending time on that, those kind of things. I think we should just move on. There's a lot that Council you're covering, and we have to get them these things out of the way. We will take a 30-minute break and come back at 12:05. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
From UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.
Jalba!
Amo, moro.
Bari biba ma diari mbakel.
Konkoto murkoto le konkoto futo koto furkoto mo.
Muto nyaade man nin kolko. Sila koto wakata sate koto.
Prince Kuyatele Mamantanang Entertainment. Wala be bemba kala semega jane hori ka so me kora awo. Kala purata enti. Mbe korontoro kanna ala kanam fa janne wala.
Yenyum kora bemba minda kanake Gambia jang. Sato dao da itata jenkama de ka fo kora awo. Amma kan man tenkunno bankoka. Iko banko nyaton ko minketa Adama Baroti anala numonyo fosli.
Fatma baba.
Ye nyim ben kere sika ya ditel la ka kenyaton ko. Amadou Kora wo fanam be dele don. Ajaratu Fatu Sonko bakaw.
Kora mansa.
Ni ajebe kumbola tumbun ko to salon ko dal ko lon sabu. Kora man ke bi fenti.
Baraka.
Ha.
Ngoy batar la beon.
Mbeje ko dura anda mo be mele neti.
He baba.
Dalba.
Amo, moro.
Bari biba ma diari mbakel.
Konkoto murkoto le konkoto futo koto furkoto mo.
Muto nyaade man nin kolko. Sila koto wakata sate koto.
Prince Kuyatele Mamantanang Entertainment. Wala be bemba kala semega jane hori ka so me kora awo. Kala purata enti. Mbe korontoro kanna ala kanam fa janne wala.
Yenyum kora bemba minda kanake Gambia jang. Sato dao da itata jenkama de ka fo kora awo. Amma kan man tenkunno bankoka. Iko banko nyaton ko minketa Adama Baroti anala numonyo fosli.
Fatma baba.
Ye nyim ben kere sika ya ditel la ka kenyaton ko. Amadou Kora wo fanam be dele don. Ajaratu Fatu Sonko bakaw.
Kora mansa.
Ni ajebe kumbola tumbun ko to salon ko dal ko lon sabu. Kora man ke bi fenti.
Baraka.
Ha.
Ngoy batar la beon.
Mbeje ko dura anda mo be mele neti.
He baba.
Dalba.
Amo, moro.
Bari biba ma diari mbakel.
Konkoto murkoto le konkoto futo koto furkoto mo.
mutoñati mannin kolko sila koto wakata sate koto
Prince Kuyatele Mamantanang Entertainment. Wala bemba kala semega jane wori ka so me kora awo. Kala pura denti. Mbe korontoro kan ala karam fa janni woni.
yenyum kora bemba minda kanake Gambia jang sato dao da tata jen kama de kafo kora awon amma kan man ten kunno banko ka iko banko nyaton ko minketa adama baroti anala numo nyo fosli
Fatma baba.
yenyim ben kere sika ya ditel la ka kenyaton ko amadou kora wo fanam bidele don ajaratu fatu sonko bakaw
Kora mansa.
ni aje be kumbola tumbun koto to salon ko dal ko lewo do sabu kora man ke bi fenti
Baraka.
ha
Ngoy batar la beon.
mbeje ko dura anda mo be mele neti
Hey baba.
Gamsobis in focus with Kaliru Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry? You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector? You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations? The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.
Gamsobis in focus with Kaliru Banjang every Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m.
You want to know about the Gambia entertainment industry? You want to know the existing policies and programs of the arts and culture sector? You want to know about the governance and management of the arts associations? The program will throw a fresh light on the entertainment industry in focus. We will touch so many angles about the cultural sector, the opportunities and challenges, and interrogate them, and most importantly, offer solutions.